tension. Joy exists, yet the world is so fallen. If we look around, we can see so much beauty, so much, even right now on a sunny day in October in Western Washington, there's green, there's obviously sunshine, there's water, there's so much beauty, the weather is pleasant, and yet clearly the world is broken, and I'm confused. It seems like a contradiction. The world is such a broke place. Death exists, and even more than that, evil exists. We see that all the time. We saw it just recently at a community college in Oregon, and the terror and the scars that are gonna last and that so many people will live with for the rest of their life. How do you reconcile those things? How do pain and scars exist at the same time in a world full of joy and beauty? Umpqua Community College experienced something much more than just, whatever causes those things according to our world's leaders, whether it be political issues or mental health. They experienced a spiritual reality of evil. And when I was reading the other day on the news that this wasn't just a shooting of anyone, this was targeted at Christians. This was persecution on U.S. soil. We so often think that's just something in another part of the world, but it's actually here too. And that's so hard to think about persecution and pain like that. When I think of persecution, I think of Paul, because he was like the guy that got persecuted. Like, if you've been persecuted, he's been persecuted more, and he'll brag about it. And I again see that tension that I'm wrestling with. The tension of Paul being like one of the most joyous guys that if you had a chance to meet him, you would have ever met, and then also experiencing such pain and persecution and suffering. How do those things work together? I think I understand Paul's struggle in Philippians chapter 2 a little bit better. The tension between wanting to go and be with Jesus and yet wanting to stay on earth. Now, if earth is such a painful place, why would you want to stay on earth? Well, there's fruitful ministry for Christians here. There was people that Paul still wanted to pour into, and there was also the joy of heaven that he longed for. So I think I understand that a little bit better than I have. Just thinking about the events of this world nowadays, and how in those moments I see so clearly that this is not where we're meant to be, and yet I also think of friends that I have here. Like, I sometimes think, I've often thought this, like, what if I were martyred? Like, what if I were the one that was on the floor of a classroom when a shooter said, "Stand up if you're a Christian," and then said, "Good, because you're about to see God in 1 second." What if I were martyred? And there's sometimes that I'm like, Lord, bring it if that's what you want. But then I think of the pain, the grief that I would leave behind. And it's so confusing. How does this work that we have pain for those that are left, but yet I would be entering the best joy I had ever felt? Such a strange tension.